So like I mentioned in the previous episode, this episode I'm going to be showing you how to make some hummus. But it's not just hummus, I'm also going to show you how to make pita and also a pita wrap, a very basic pita wrap. Now, what is hummus? To put it very simply, it is just mushed up chickpeas. But it is delicious. And another surprise that's waiting inside is I'm also going to be showing you how to make tahini. So let's get started quickly. So hummus. It is another recipe that we're going to start with raw chickpeas. To start off, I'm going to take 2 cups of raw chickpeas and I'm going to soak them overnight. So an easy thumb rule to remember is that your level of water should be 2 inches above the level of your chickpeas. So before we make hummus, we have to make tahini. For that we need 1/4 cup of sesame seeds, a tablespoon of oil, and a little bit of salt. And that is it. Exactly, knowing how to make tahini at home is going to be so easy on the pocket now. For starters, keep your pan on a medium heat. Now you could do this in the oven, but sesame seeds tend to burn real easy and you rather have a lot more control by doing it on the pan. So you want to toast your sesame seeds and you want to color them ever so slightly. Now we want an even coloring on all our sesame seeds, and the easiest way to ensure this is to toss or stir continuously. Once your sesame seeds have reached their desired color, dispense them off into a bowl. This will prevent them from burning. Now you want to completely cool the sesame seeds off, and once cooled, throw them into a blender. Blend them to a point where it comes off as a coarse dry paste. Now all that's left is to add your 1 tablespoon of oil, season it to taste, and blend again. And what you'd be left with is this smooth, aromatic, toasty tahini paste, along with a few bucks in your pocket. And now, back to our chickpeas. These are soaked overnight and they've almost tripled in volume. Now I'm going to boil them in some fresh water for at least 1 hour. So after an hour, what you want to check for is if the chickpea has become completely mashy. So the way I do it is by taking a chickpea and mashing it with the back of a fork. If it goes through quickly, you're done. Remember, the softer your chickpeas, the creamier your hummus. The chickpeas look done to me, so I'm going to take it off the heat and cool it down completely. Once the chickpeas have cooled, it's time to blend. But before we blend, we need more flavor. For that, I have 8 cloves of garlic, a tablespoon of cumin, a tablespoon of salt, a little bit of water, 3 tablespoons of tahini, and a lemon. So some of you might not know this, but my food processor, it's really small. And for the sake of convenience, I'm going to show you the recipe for exactly 2 cups of cooked chickpeas. So for 2 cups of cooked chickpeas, you need 1 tablespoon of tahini, about 1/4 of a lemon, a couple of cloves of garlic. Along with that, you want a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of salt. Now you want to add enough water till you get the right consistency in your hummus. So start with a little bit and adjust accordingly. So that definitely needs more water. Along with the water, I'm going to add a little bit of oil. So what oil does is it adds a richness and a smoothness at the same time. So a lot of people would stop blending at this point, where your hummus would retain this grainy texture. It's a nice mouthfeel, but I prefer it completely smooth. Yes, I think a little oil would make me more happy. So at this point, there is so much you can do to your hummus. Like you could add some yogurt and your hummus would get all tangy. You could add some chipotle chili or some regular chili and your hummus would get nice and hot. Or some smoked peppers would be nice where it's all smoky. But I'm a traditional kind of guy and I'm going to stop at this point. So this is the final batch of hummus. I'm going to get this blended up and I'm going to start working on the pita bread. In case you want a plate, just dust some paprika, add some olive oil, place a piece of parsley, and gorgeousness is right here. So yeah, hummus is that easy to make. So my favorite version of hummus is where you put some charred capsicums, like you char your bell pepper and you blend it along your hummus, and that smoky hummus is simply addictive. Now, without wasting any time, I'm going to move on to my pita. And what do I say about pita? It's delicious. We all have had shawarmas and we all love it. So let's make it ASAP. Here I've got 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour, a cup and a half of lukewarm water, a tablespoon of oil, a teaspoon of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. Here I'm going to use the sugar as a feed for my yeast, and I'm going to mix it into my water. I'm going to give it a quick whisk, and once my sugar has been fully incorporated, I'm going to add my active dry yeast. I'm going to add the salt to my flour, and I'm going to hold on till I see some activity in my yeast. My yeast has begun to bubble, and I'm going to bring this dough together in this large vessel. I'm simply going to tilt this flour over, make a well, and add my oil and my activated yeast. So unless you have a stand mixer, you'll have to go in with your hands, and your dough should come together pretty easily. Once it's come together, you want to begin kneading your dough. So for that, you'll have to dust some flour on your working surface and go in relentlessly. When it comes to kneading, my chef always told me, recall that fight you had with your sibling as a kid, where you're smothering his face straight into the carpet. Just channel that motion and that energy straight into this dough, and continue to channel it as long as you can, which is at least 15 minutes. So when do you know you're done? Well, you could do the window test, but a window test is a privilege held exclusively by people using a stand mixer. If you're doing this by hand, you'd rather time yourself. After 15 minutes, you could stop, and that's exactly what I've done. So my dough is ready to ferment. For this, I'll need a bowl. I'm going to oil the inside of the bowl, after which I'm going to give my dough a bath in that oil. So you want to let your dough rise till it doubles in size. It should take an hour to an hour and a half. Till then, cover your dough with a wet cloth. And our dough has doubled. So to start off, I'm going to flour my working surface. And to see more skills like these, like, share and subscribe. Now take your dough and punch the air out of it. Once the dough has lost all its gas, divide it into equal portions. So try to keep each portion tight and the outer surface smooth. The reason you want to do this is you do not want your pita to develop any cracks while you roll them. No cracks, no fail, my friend. To roll out your pita, dust some flour on your working surface, and with the help of a rolling pin, roll your pita out to a thickness of about 4 millimeters. Once your pita is rolled out, an extremely important step is to rest it for 5 minutes. After resting for 5 minutes, you can begin toasting your pita. Now you can do this in the oven, and honestly the results are better, but I should show you all procedures, shouldn't I? Now if we've done this right, we will get a pocket. I mean the pita pocket. Remember, unless you rest your pita for 5 minutes, getting a pita pocket is virtually impossible. Hey, I can see it happening. It's happening. Do you? Come on, halfway there. A little more. Give it to me. And success! So our hummus is ready, our pita is ready. Let me quickly show you how to make an easy, simple pita wrap. For this, I have 1 cucumber, 1 tomato, 1 onion and some cilantro. What I'm quickly going to do is slice my onion, small dice my tomato and chiffonade my coriander and bring it together. Don't forget to season it. I also have some cucumber which I'm going to thinly slice before I cut the top of my pita bread. Now I'm going to layer the inside of my pita with some of that beautiful hummus that we've made. After which I'm going to throw in a little bit of the salad and layer in a few of the cucumbers. Finally, I'm going to add a couple of falafels and a pita pocket is ready. So the pita pocket I've shown you is very basic. You can go on and add some bacon, sausages, avocado, guacamole, go crazy. So yeah, once you have pita, you can go totally crazy with it. The sort of wraps you can make, the sort of sandwiches you can make, there, sky is the limit. Also, one big advantage of pita is that because it's a leavened bread, it has yeast in it, it lasts way longer than an average unleavened bread. One of my favorite ways though of eating pita is when you deep fry it. So cut them into long strips, juliennes, and deep fry them. You get these lovely pita chips and they're delicious. Also, I realized that the last few episodes have been completely vegan. Even this episode was completely vegan. So for the meat lovers, there's something special coming up for you in the next episode. And if you like this episode, do like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.